and you can have a look at it now. We're just going in, the camera's filming and the sound is there. We're going to talk about sometimes with your father were. Just come in through this door.
Yeah, this I think this was where the Byrne stable was. Yeah, this was it.
And you can see, there's the observation. See there, they'll be observing the mares there.
Yeah, this was the Byrne.
And there's the phone that you were talking about there.
Yeah, where is it?
There's the phone there, look.
Oh, there. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Let me turn around.
As I say, now we would have seen very little of that, but we knew where it was and where he had to go, where he would be going. And but if there was a mare foaling or
the door of the thing is in the way. You just step a little bit forward towards me, so I can see that phone in the background. Yes, I have it now. That's grand. Okay, so you're telling me this is where your father spent an awful lot of his time.
The best part of his time.
Yeah.
That was his job.
He was the stud groomsman.
He was the stud groomsman. He had to make sure that foal came out perfect.
Right. It was all down to him.
All down to him. Yeah.
Right.
And he had to be there for every birthing.
So there had to be a connection between that phone there behind you and your father's house.
Yeah.
And who would ring him typically?
That's why we moved from our own house in Cloghran to here.
All right.
That was the only reason we moved. We had a house in Cloghran.
Right.
And to do the stud groom's job, you had to be on call immediately.
Right.
And
I suppose if
we had no phones in Cloghran or anything in those days.
If you jump back to previous to when Nipper McGurk lived down in Butler's house on the main road at Kettle Lane, he moved up to that house there, and McKenna moved on into where you ended up living. Yeah. And he was the one that was here, the night man. He would have been the night man, the yard night man. Yeah. Not specifically to do with birthing, but he was around here things happening at night.
Yeah.
So when McKenna moved into your house, or Nipper McGurk's house over there, and he died, your father moved up from Cloghran to be closer to the yard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, there always had to be somebody here.
Right.
During the foaling season. Now it was a season.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be all the year round.
Right.
Foalings, it's early in the new year that foals are born.
Right. And you told me that Tyke Scanlon once said that he learned more from your father.
My father.
He's a vet.
He had so much. It got so much information about horses from my father than he could have ever got from anywhere. Right. My father knew so much about horses, and I'd say Nipper was exactly the same.
Yeah.
And the two of them were like Derby. What would you say? No, they were the two of them. They'd always
Bill and Ben.
They'd have their heads would be together and they'd be chatting about the horses, and it was always horses.
Right. Funny enough, when I was talking to John Foy here a couple of days ago, he said that when McKenna was in charge, he used to wear the leather, and he was very officious. But when your father took over, he was more of a mucker in, get stuck in. He wasn't as officious, yet nonetheless he wasn't that any less knowing about his job.
Yeah.
But he just had a different approach. Yeah. He was more a man.
Well, he was very much, he would have been a hands-on man himself. He would do what the lads were doing. Right. He would do part of that job for them. He'd show them how to do it. But he'd take no nonsense from them.
Right.
They'd have to be on time and they'd have to do their work.
Okay.
And that was it. And he was a very, very fair man. I never heard anybody, and his temperament, he had a great temperament.
Right.
He
had to be patient to a job
very,
like this.
very, very patient. But if he blew a fuse, but that was very seldom, I have to say. He was a very, very, and he always left anything to do with the home had to do with my mother.
Well, tell me about, while we're talking here and we're nice and quiet, and I'm just double checking that you're on camera. Yeah, you're on camera, centre on camera. Tell me when the morning, when he was ill and he was living over in that house that Nipper McGurk lives in, and we're going to film that.
Yeah.
Tell me the sequence of events. There was a very touching moment where your mother says to you, look, it's time to let him go, and when the horses were around at the time. Just talk me through that.
It was a beautiful moment. It was the summer of 1976 and there was drought here. It was a beautiful summer when he was dying. And he had taken to the bed at this stage, and both of us looked after him. And this morning I came in, and when I came in and looked at him, I said, oh, I think he's about to die. Right. I don't know how I saw it, it was in his eyes. And I went, and my mother was in the bathroom, and I said to her, Mum, I think Daddy, look what she said, I thought yesterday and the day before the same. She said, I think he's all right. I'm only after leaving him there. So I said, no, come up now. Come up. And as she came in the door, she said, oh, and I said, Dad, and I felt he was going, and I said, Dad, hang on, you're all right, you're okay. And my mother said, Bridie, let him go, he's suffered enough. Let him go. She said a few words to that effect to me, and she said, no, stand back, she said, give him room. And she said, she took out her rosary beads, and I was disgusted. I have to say, I was so,
your mother was saying,
let him go. I couldn't believe she was going to pray him. Well, what she did say afterwards, I was praying him into the next word, because she had fantastic faith. So, in the meantime, we heard three of my children were around, and they were playing out the front, and the horses were out there actually at the time, and they were shouting and they were talking, and I said, oh, the children, I listened to the children, and she said, well, doesn't life go on? Right. That was the word she said to me, doesn't life go on? And he died just about that time, and I got up and I looked out the window, and my mother looked, and I didn't, strangely enough, I didn't see the horses first, I saw the children. Right. And she said to me, would you look at the yearlings? Would you come over here? She said, look where they are. They were outside and were looking over they were in the paddock, over the pane, looking over the pane.
Into the window?
Yeah. And it was like as if, I don't know what it was. And in them days, well, if anybody was dying with me, I'd open the window to let, my mother opened the window. And she said, no, his spirit is gone.
Great story.
Yeah.
Great story. I'm going to have a look at it today, and it's a fantastic sunny day today. Although it's in the middle of winter. Yeah. It's what date is it today? It's the 3rd of January, 2009. So I'm going to press this button, switch my sound off.
It's something that is something that stays in your memory forever.